if you really want to be the visionary, what better way than to take that strap off with John Cena, or after CM Punk potentially beats John Cena.
It's the Pin Down, the Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling Show. Kent Brown here in Pittsburgh, Gene Chery up there in Connecticut, and Money in the Bank happened this weekend. So much to talk about in the world of pro wrestling. And Gene, I want to just jump right in and talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. Yeet, Jey Uso won the title over Gunther at WrestleMania. We were wondering, how long is this title run going to last? We discussed it last week. We said, will he survive another week as champion? And then on Monday Night Raw, he did not survive. Gunther gets his world championship back. What did you think about what transpired? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? Is it the right decision?
I gotta say, I was slightly surprised, but honestly, if you've looked at how Jay's been booked since WrestleMania, this shouldn't have been a shock to anybody. WWE really has never given Jey Uso the ball to be the man on Raw. We saw in his previous title defenses, every single one of his matches, he never really won on his own. There was always a little bit of shenanigans going on. And I thought if they were really going to give Jey the opportunity to be the man, this would have been the time to show it. But as you can see, Gunther, it's clear this match showed exactly where WWE sees Jey Uso and where they see Gunther. Gunther is the future of this Raw brand, and Jey Uso, as harsh as it may sound, I feel like they've treated this man like a mascot. They've got him out here yeeting, getting the crowd hyped, kissing kids, hugging babies, all this, doing the whole run. But at the end of the day, as far as that title goes, they never saw him as that man. So I don't know what's going to happen with him going forward, but it is what it is.
I think Cena was kind of right in a way on SmackDown when he said you're a wannabe. And in a way, that's kind of the role he was playing. He was playing the John Cena role. He was a guy that was out there, as you said, kissing babies, cheering for the crowd, getting them to sort of start the match for him. And then when the match started, there was a lot left to be desired. He didn't have that memorable moment as champion that I think we all wanted him to have or prove that he could have. And as Cena said, you're a wannabe. Cody Rhodes, you're a wannabe. And now you look at both of them, they're not champs. It's a heel run with Gunther, with John Cena. And now we turn our attention towards Gunther. What's the sky in terms of the limit for him? Because he came into WrestleMania as being a champ for a long time. WWE has pumped out that he was a champ at NXT for a long time. He was an Intercontinental champ. His reign on the roster, whether it's NXT or WWE main, he's pretty much been a champion for the high majority of the time he's been there. And now he has that leather strap around his waist. I think he could be champion for a while longer. And it's one of those, and you hinted at it a couple months ago when we were talking, is there that Goldberg waiting? Are we going to see a potential Goldberg-Gunther world title match? Because there's some rumors going around that Goldberg might have one last match. I could see Gunther Goldberg happening pretty quickly.
Well, here's the thing with Gunther. If people remember, his first run as World Heavyweight Champ wasn't memorable either. He had the belt for a while, and I can't recall, besides his match with Cody Rhodes, I really can't recall him having that special moment as World Champ either. Gunther, to me, his best version was his IC Championship run. To me, that was the best version of him. He was killing it, and he is still an incredible worker. He's still really good on the mic. But right now that he has that world championship, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to show like, yo, you are this guy. Are you this guy that we believe you are? We took the title off one of the most over superstars in the entire company. So now it's your job to elevate that world heavyweight championship. So I'm trying to look down at the roster. Who do you set Gunther up with? Because this Jey and Gunther thing, I think it's run its course, and I think fans are ready for these guys to move on in a different direction.
Well, let's briefly touch upon Money in the Bank happened on Saturday in LA. Who left Mr. Money in the Bank? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, we were thinking, would he cash in on Saturday night? Would CM Punk spoil him? He left as the clean Mr. Money in the Bank for the first time in 10 years. We know he had that memorable WrestleMania moment in Santa Clara. Seth Rollins is lurking. And there's no guarantee that as good as Gunther is, that Seth Rollins isn't going to cash in on Gunther as well. Doesn't have to be John Cena. He's on Raw, Monday Night Rollins. He has the vision around him. All of a sudden for Gunther, you're not worried about Jey. You're not worried about a potential Goldberg. You probably should mainly be worried on the visionary Seth Rollins. I feel like ultimately we will probably get that cash in and see Seth Rollins take that title from him.
That's a great booking. But if you're Seth, if you really want to take control, if you really want to be the visionary, what better way than to take that strap off of John Cena or after CM Punk potentially beats John Cena? I know we're going to talk about that later on in the show, but I love that idea, man. Seth Rollins really has the keys to really change the course of the entire WWE universe.
And also, it's not just one-on-one with Seth Rollins now. He has Braun Breaker. He has Bronson Reed. He has a lot of firepower. It's always 3-on-1 with Paul Heyman lurking to make it 4-on-1 for any advantage that Seth Rollins might have going forward.
Speaking of firepower, we had WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella join the show this week. Check it out. We saw you and Liv get into it. Fans are already predicting a potential matchup. So without spoiling anything, how are you feeling physically these days?
Physically great. I'm in such incredible shape right now. I really have just focused not only on my outer and physical health, but so much on my inner health the past few years. And I just feel great. I've been training hard. I go up in my squat in different weights. I go up 5 to 10 pounds every week. I've been training. It used to be actually Tyler Perry's trainer, and he used to be a Philadelphia Eagle. So he's kicking my butt a few days a week in the gym, but I just feel so incredible and I'm happy. And it's really nice to be in a place where it's like the inside out just matches, you know?
Nikki was dope. Be sure to check out the rest of this interview, dropping on YouTube later on this week.
How about that? 2 killer interviews already here on the Pin Down. And speaking of killers in the ring, great characters. We mentioned last week, We Want Truth. It closed our show. It was a huge talking point. And then what happens at Money in the Bank? Here comes R-Truth. He's back. He's setting the tone. And then on Monday Night Raw, he goes all in, but with a different flair, Gene. It's not really R-Truth at this point. It's old school Ron Killings, different type of character, different vibe. He's a legend no matter what, but I loved it. It was great for the fans. It was great for everybody in the ring. And more importantly, it's not just that we brought a guy back and he's going to do the same shtick. It's like we brought a guy back and WWE said, be you, change your vibes, and let's see where you can build this character. I thought this last Monday Night Raw, Gene, was probably the best Raw probably since after WrestleMania. And outside of that, maybe the best Raw of the year in the Netflix era. It was a home run and a lot to do with R-Truth becoming Ron Killings. That was great.
I got to stop you there. I think the Raw after Mania was clearly the best Raw of the year. We were there. That was dope. But I'll say this. R-Truth, Ron Killings, that transition was needed, right? Like, you couldn't bring him back as the same goofy R-Truth, fun-loving R-Truth. Now you've got kind of the killer, no pun intended. And I've been racking my brain on this. Like, if you're really going to bring R-Truth back, I feel like, we're in a moment, right? Doesn't this remind you a little bit of the Daniel Bryan, the Kofi Mania? We've seen moments like this where the fans get the "We Want Cody" from
Becky Lynch
year.
as well, after her nose was broken, and it was the whole, when she comes back, she is going to be a champ.
Exactly. We're in a moment where it's like the fans have voice. They've been so loud to a point where WWE's like, you know what, we're going to go all in. So now that we've got this version of Ron Killings, the serious, the put the respect on my name version of R-Truth, I feel like this might be the guy that takes that title away from Cena. This is my theory. I think all eyes were pointed on Cody Rhodes recapturing that title before the end of the year. But what do you think about the possibility of R-Truth, Ron Killings, being the man to take that title back for the people and saving John Cena from destroying pro wrestling?
See, I would be more inclined to think that it would happen if we didn't know about the whole Cena's retiring at the end of the year thing, because then you can have a one-off that he upsets him like the same way back in the day, like the 1, 2, 3 Kid upset Razor Ramon, or whenever you would get like, Triple H getting upset by a new up-and-comer, things like that. But because John Cena's run has a finite, definite end date, I'd have to think whoever takes the title from him is like an A-lister of all A-listers, whether it's a Punk, whether it's Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, one of those type of guys. As much as R-Truth would be fun, I think it would be more likely if we had no idea that John Cena was going to be done on December 31st of this year. It would be great. The crowd would get behind it, but I just don't see it happening. My eyebrows raised as soon as you said it, because I went, I don't think I can go that far. And even though the storyline will change now and he probably gets one more crack at John Cena, whether it's at a premium live event or whether it's on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, I can't imagine he gets close to winning that title, just because if Cena's going to lose it, it's going to be to whoever's going to be that champion at the end of the year. But with all that said, it's been a great run, a great last month, and the fact that it looked like he was all but done, and now he's re-energized his career. It's fun. He'll get one more shot at it, but I can't predict him to be the guy. I think it's going to be with a true heavy hitter, somebody that everyone knows who they are, where at the end of the day, Ron Killings is still more of a wrestling fan's wrestler. Like the same way you watch like stand-up comedy and you hear like, there's a stand-up, he's a comedian's comedian. He's not like an A-lister. That's the same way with R-Truth, with Ron Killings. Everyone in the locker room would love him, but I don't think as a sell, you can sell him being, he's the guy that knocked off heel Cena. When you have Cody, you have Punk, you have Rollins.
Isn't Cody a wrestler's wrestler? Hasn't R-Truth been with the company a little more? If I were to play devil's advocate, I could make a case R-Truth, Ron Killings has been more important to the company than Cody Rhodes. Maybe not in recent years, but overall, given the fact that he's been with the company for over 20 years.
Maybe Cody's not the guy to do it. That's the one thing. I feel like a lot of us have thought that it's going to be Cody. Maybe it's not Cody. He's definitely going to get another crack at it, but there's a lot of talent on that roster, and it doesn't have to be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to win a world title again. Doesn't necessarily mean he has to be the one to beat Cena, but you're right. When you look at the last 15, 20 years, R-Truth has been there day in, day out, and again, it would be fun for a moment, but because Cena's run is short-lived and he's done in 5 months, I just don't see him being the guy. Let's now shift, though, speaking of John Cena. Big storyline set on Monday Night Raw. We knew we were going to get it at some point. The same way we knew we were going to get Randy Orton matched up with Cena. It's going to be Punk. It's going to be Cena. And it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, the place that CM Punk has not showed up yet to go. And that's part of what John Cena said. If you want it, you got to come to Saudi and you got to face me. And CM Punk accepted the challenge. It will be Night of Champions. It'll be a signature event. Might be match of the year. These two have been great together over the years. Even when CM Punk left the WWE, he always talked in good marks about working with John Cena. He loved working with him. They had great chemistry. They had great matches. And now you get a babyface CM Punk and a heel Cena. This is going to be a fun ride leading into Night of Champions. And for both of these guys, Gene, to kind of see them play the opposite roles, where CM Punk's the over babyface and John Cena's the cheating champion. I can't wait to see it all happen.
Well, to your point, is that going to be the same feeling that night at Night of Champions? Are these fans going to receive CM Punk the same way he's received in the States? I could easily see Cena as the hometown, not the hometown, but as the fan favorite over in Saudi, considering how vocal CM Punk's been about not wanting to go over there. So it's going to be very interesting dynamic on how these guys are going to play roles during that night. It's going to be a fun matchup, man. I thought the build-up for Cena and Orton was lacking, but the match itself delivered. I thought it was one of their better matches. So I could easily expect CM Punk has proven he has put on bangers with everyone. I think he's on one of the best runs of his career since he returned back to the roster. So I'm looking forward to this matchup. I think the promos, I hope we get a couple more promos out of these guys because they're both magic on the stick. So, but the match itself, I'm so curious to see how this match is going to play out because of the crowd fan base.
And when you look at John Cena, he's not wasting his time either. It's great because he's on this final run. It would have been kind of easy to be like, okay, let's have Night of Champions be one more kind of mid-carder that challenges him, and then SummerSlam awaits. I don't think anybody would have been that upset about that. Instead, it's let's fight the guy that has been the biggest name in wrestling the last 15 years in CM Punk. I don't think there's been a bigger name since that 2011 summer where CM Punk defeated John Cena at Money in the Bank, left as champion. They didn't know if he would re-sign or not. Obviously, he did. So that was 14 years ago. He's not fallen off since. Even when he was gone, the crowds chanted, "We want Punk," CM Punk. He went to AEW, instantly became the top star there, left AEW, came back to WWE, was instantly the biggest star at WWE. And like you said, now it's him and John Cena in this final run. It's going to be tremendous. And I guess you mentioned you want to see them go back and forth a couple more times. What do you want out of this? Like, as a fan, not just as a podcaster, wrestling host, like we're doing with Sports Illustrated right now, where we almost put on, we're fans, but we're also analyzing this. Just as a pure fan, when you sit down and you watch Raw on Monday night, or you watch, USA with Friday Night SmackDown, and you want to be entertained, what are you hoping to see out of these two? Because I think the gloves are going to be off. I think they're going to allow each other to attack them, say whatever you want to say, I'll roll with, I'll be ready with. And I think there's going to be a couple like holy, what moments that happen between these two that people are going to be like, do these guys not even like each other? What's happening? But I think they're just going to say, take out the gloves, fist versus fist. Let's get at it and roll with the punches. And I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm trying to be entertained, right? It's World Wrestling Entertainment. That's what we want to see, right? Like, if you remember, everyone remembers this. CM Punk's pipe bomb, who was in the ring when CM Punk was doing it? It was John Cena. I'm ready for these guys to just empty the clip and say everything that they need to say, because we don't know if we're ever going to see it again. We don't know how many more times we're going to see these guys have these moments. So if there's any time for these guys to really capture the audience and sell this matchup, the time is now.
Your time is up. My time is now, and that's going to do it here for our latest edition of The Pin Down, the Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling Show. Gene Chery, Kent Brown, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week.